In Yorkshire, we're a bit different from London, and you've got an all-female registration form. So the certificate goes to Mrs.
Do you know the capital of Denmark?
Could you call it
Fred! I took it off
Yeah, but that's the two sat at this table.
And beside it, there's a canal. You can drive through all Holland, and it's just
Never been. Holland.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the evening, the father of the bride. Well, good evening everybody, and a great big Yorkshire welcome to all of you to Anna and Sam's wedding celebrations. And a particularly warm welcome to those guests who've travelled quite a way to be here today. Some of Sam's family, of course, have come all the way from Denmark, and a particularly warm welcome I'd like to extend to them. When I was planning this speech, I thought it might be nice to say a few words in Danish to our Danish guests. And so I thought, well, you know, how hard could that be? I've got French O-level. Can't be that much harder, can it? So I penned a few lines and had them translated into Danish. And the translator very kindly not only provided me with the words, but actually did a couple of recordings of how these words were meant to sound. And emailed them to me as an MP3 file so that I could play them on my iPod. For the benefit of older guests, that's a kind of portable gramophone thing. So I got these, opened them up with Sam's assistance on my computer, and there were two files, one spoken at normal speed and one spoken at half speed. I thought, I'm not going to need the half speed one, I'll just go straight for the normal speed. Press the button, listen to it, and was frankly terrified. I then played the half speed one, and I was merely very, very scared that I'd taken on. Anyway, I persevered, and you're about to hear the fruits of my labours, and I apologise in advance to all of our Danish guests for mangling their lovely language. But fear not, if you don't understand a word of it, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to translate it into English afterwards for the benefit of those guests listening to this speech in English. Here goes, and I might need to refer to my notes here, I shall try not to. It's only water, this. Jeg vil gerne rette en særlig varm velkomst til alle de gæster, der rejst hertil hele vejen fra Danmark. I følger naturligvis en gammel tradition, som startede for århundreder siden, da I invaderede os med landskiber. Mange af byerne og landsbyerne her i området har navne med dansk oprindelse, og jeg håber, I finder til at udforske nogle af dem ind i tager hjem. Vi siger, så husk at plundring ikke længere er lovligt.
I can understand that.
At på ud for vores mur vil blive taget ilde op af politiet. Skål! Just sit down now. For the benefit of perhaps all of you, I'll try and quickly translate that. I wasn't sure whether the laughter was because of the content or
Did you do okay?
what I was trying to say was,
Very good, very good.
guests, you're following in a centuries-old tradition established when you invaded us in your longships.
Danish queen.
Many
He's
of
French.
the towns and
He's
villages
so good
around
at it.
here have place names with Danish origins, and I hope that before you return home, you'll find time to explore some of them. But when you do, please remember, pillaging is no longer legal. Unless, of course, you're a member of Parliament, in which case it's pillaging. Any attempt, the police will take a very dim view of any attempt to abduct our maidens.
Find one.
You were there ahead of me. Another very important guest here today, who's travelled a long way to be here, is of course Sam's mum, Vibse. And again, very warm welcome to Vibs. I hope you didn't come by Ryanair. No, good. That's just a feeble link, really, so that I could get in my favourite Ryanair story, to which I'm indebted to Simon Hoggart for. Michael O'Leary found himself at a bit of a loose end in Dublin recently and walked into a bar and ordered a pint of Guinness. And on being told by the barman that the price was €1, he said, "It's very reasonable," at which point the barman leaned across the bar and said, "Would you be wanting a glass with that, Mr. O'Leary?" Vibbs, of course, would have liked to have been here today with Brian, but because Brian has a very bad back, he was unable to travel. And I'm sure we'd all like to wish Brian all the best for a speedy recovery. Mentioning Brian's name reminds me that spelling hasn't always been Anna's strongest point. And when she and Sam first went to Northern Ireland to visit Vibbs and Brian, I got this breathless text on my mobile from Anna saying, "Gone N Ireland, visit Vibbs and Lord Brain." So I'm afraid in our household, he's been known Lord Brain ever since. It's now time to, my happy duty really, to welcome Sam into the family. But given that Sam seems to have been around for so long, long enough indeed to have dug Fiona's garden over 3 times from end to end, I think we can take that as read. I'm not going. I want to mention what I might have done in times gone by. In times gone by, of course, I would have been assessing Sam as a potential suitor on the basis of his prospects, his financial standing. But in these happier, more enlightened days when young women can be independent and make their own way in the world, that's no longer appropriate. And I confess I was actually much more interested in whether Sam could mend my computer than I was in anything else. I'm happy to say he passed that test with flying colours. So if any of you have got any niggling problems with yours, I'll just have a word with him afterwards and I'm sure he'll help to sort them out. I'm not going to steal the best man's thunder by saying much more about Sam, but I do want to say that in the years that I've got to know Sam, I think he's an absolutely lovely guy. He's charming, he's resourceful, he's extremely talented and creative, and we're delighted to welcome him as a son-in-law.
Yeah.